Hi, I'm Circe Woessner, and I am doing a portrait workshop, Portraits in a Pandemic. It's a self-portrait painting workshop. I hope you have a lot of fun with me while we do this process together. I'm not a professional artist, but I like to dabble and create, and so I think of this as an exploration of myself, of yourself. You're making the portrait, and it's a look into what makes me really tick, what makes us tick. A lot of times we see portraits and they are beautiful. The artist has done a great job, but you don't capture the soul or the essence of the person. And so what I want to do today is to drill down into essence. What makes us tick? How do we feel right now? And so I want to just for about 15 minutes do a quick little start, and then tomorrow we'll drill more into it. So the first thing I'd like to do is encourage you to look at the things that you need to put into the workshop. We're going to work on color first. So what I'm going to do right now is I've got very wet watercolors, and this is it. I just picked up things that were lying around the house. There's nothing expensive that has to be done. And so I'm just going to take my brush and just all over the paper use all the colors that I suggested in the bottom to get a start to the picture. So if you look, you'll see that blue means communication and yellow means confidence. Red means security and things like that. And so that is what we're doing, just filling our paper with good energy. And if you study any sort of yoga or meditation or philosophy, you'll notice that these are colors of the chakras. And so I just want to add good energy to the picture and also do some swirls. Swirls showing movement. So I'm just going to swirl. I want to work really fast today while we're doing this, and so not spend a lot of time. There's no way to mess up one of these portraits. So if you're a perfectionist, don't be. Don't be a perfectionist. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. So now I'm going to make my face. I'm going to take a color that I like, and also how do I feel right now? And so I'm going to use green to start my face. So you don't need to look in the mirror to see if you have a round face or an oval face. You're just going to make something that somewhat resembles your face. And if you're seeing that the colors underneath are not quite dry, that's fine. That is going to make your portrait that much more interesting. So now, my neck, my face. We're going to be more realistic and add detail tomorrow. Today, we're just getting the essence down. So what I'm doing is I am now going to mix a little blue and green together, and where I have shadows naturally occurring in my face, think about where are the darkest parts of you. So under your eyes have darker circles, right? The shadows of your eye sockets. And then where else? Around your nose and underneath your nose. Where else do you have shadows? Your chin? Underneath your chin? Just put those out there. What I want to do now is take a brush, and you don't have to have fancy brushes, these were just given to me. Just kind of spread that paint out so that it has a chance to dry a little quicker. Just let it dry. Play with your cheeks, where your cheeks are, your shadows, underneath your chin. Use some of that extra paint and thin it out. There are no mistakes in this kind of portrait. If you were working on really large watercolor paper, knowing just the price of a sheet would make you not want to say, oh, I made a mistake and move on. So what I've done is I've rinsed my brush and I'm now going to soften these dark edges and just move it down a little bit so that it's very blended in, so that it's not quite so stark. And I'm going to really look now, where else? Right here, that little bridge of the mouth, between the nose and the mouth. Now I'm going to start thinking about my lips. I'm using blue, because I talk a lot, but that is a good energy color for communication. So my lips are going to be blue, and then a little lighter blue. Tomorrow what we'll do is we'll add details. So now you can already look for the nostrils. You can already start thinking about your eyes, putting them in. I think just playing around. Now, if you look at yourself in a mirror or in a photograph, you'll start thinking about where are your details. You might have a mole or a birthmark. You may have a scar. So you can start indicating where they are too in your portrait. But just keep working the paint and getting more of your actual features in. At this point, you're still just kind of making it symbolic. It's not you exactly. Now, I have brownish hair, so I'm actually, and brown eyebrows, I'm actually going to put my eyebrows in. And one eyebrow goes off to the side. It's not symmetrical with the other one. When I was little, people used to keep trying to put my eyebrow down. They'd come up to me, and I don't know if you've had like an elderly aunt put a little spit on their fingers and try to put my eyebrow down. It was very unpleasant. I also have brown eyes, and it didn't work, by the way. I also have brown eyes, so I'm going to go ahead and put my eyes in right now. The Egyptians believed that the eyes were so important, and so that's why when you see paintings, ancient Egyptian paintings, their eyes are facing forward, even if the head is facing sideways. The eyes are what the windows into the soul. So we're not going to do a lot of details, but we're going to start playing with these elements in your portrait. So I have a mole right here. So I'll put that in. Now, on your paper or underneath this blog post, this podcast post, you're supposed to incorporate elements into your portrait, like the title of a favorite book, an expression you use a lot, a line from a favorite poem or scripture, a flower, things you love, people you love, places you love. All of these we can start working with in very soft tones. No details, no hard details, because it will have to dry for that. But right now, we can just put all the essences of those objects into our picture. Where is home? Where do you live now? If you live in Texas, what symbolizes Texas? A cowboy boot, a hat, what your heritage is. I've been doing Ancestry.com, and I have found out that not only am I Scandinavian, I'm Scottish and German and a lot of things. So I can think about what is my heritage and try to incorporate that in here. I have written who you really are. Now that can mean a lot of different things. Who you are. You can be a mother, a father, a child, a sister, a veteran, a babysitter, a teacher. So anything you want to do that symbolizes who you really are. And what about a challenge you've overcome? These are all things that make you who you really truly are. And so I'm going to work on where do I live now? So right now I live in New Mexico. Doesn't mean I'm always going to live there. And as a military family, we moved we moved 18 times in 20 years. So we moved an incredibly a lot. So I'm going to make the sun because New Mexico is sunny most days. It's wonderful here. So I'm just going to make the sun. And I'm not making the Zia, which is the symbol on the flag. I'm just making the sun right now. And I'm just going to put it there. So that's symbolizing New Mexico, where I live. My son's getting kind of strange looking. You know, there's no mistakes in this, so you're going to have to work with whatever you do. So don't panic if you say, oh, I don't like it, like I'm going to do. Oh, I don't like it. And so I am going to make this bigger. So now I have this very odd looking sun. But we'll work with it. We'll play with it. Tomorrow I might make a little collage on it or a newspaper letters or something. But right now it's the sun. So where is home? I'm going to work with where is home. And so home to me, when I think about home, is where I grew up in Germany, Karlsruhe. So what symbolizes Karlsruhe to me? Well, it's Germany. It's rainy a lot. Maybe I'll make a cloud. And that might balance off my sun. So I might make a cloud over here, Germany. I'm sure the German Tourism Bureau is not happy with what I'm thinking, but it does balance the sun and the clouds, balances. But other things that remind me of Germany, my friends, my high school, Karlsruhe High School. So I may add something of that tomorrow. Now, a flower. So I might make a flower right now. And on some of my other ones, I have actually made dandelions because even though I'm not a military brat, I raised 2 military brats. And so I think I may do that. I may put a dandelion down here because we've moved. As a military family, we moved 18 times, like I said, in 20 years. And my kids grew up just absolutely place to place, making new friends, putting down roots, having to adjust to all sorts of stuff. So I'm not sure what a dandelion looks like yet, but I'm going to start making, this is one of those puffy ones. We'll see how that looks later on. But I'm just going to play with this and just put it out. There's always more work that can be done tomorrow or later on. I don't want to belabor this, but so you get the idea. You're just going to paint and block everything out today that's wet. And then tomorrow, we'll drill down into the markers. So the paint part comes first, and then the markers come tomorrow when it's all dry. You want to make sure it's dry. Well, I'm going to make this dandelion go off the page, and that's the stem. So my beautiful dandelion is curling around, and I think that might be an interesting element to this picture. Why is my dandelion curling around? Is it what grounds me as a person, as an adult? Am I grounded because I have this long dandelion? Is it shackling me because I'm afraid to move now as an adult? What is my dandelion telling me? So while you're sitting thinking of your own picture, you can feel comforted. Mine is symbolic. It's not beautiful, but it's beginning to show me. It's really speaking to who I am. I'm going to put on red clothing, or at least a red shoulder here, because red exudes confidence, and I'm in this portrait and I want to show that I'm confident in my skin. I'm confident in how I feel about myself. And I'm confident that this is going to look good when we finish with it. So there's lots of reasons to put red into this picture. So just play. You don't have to do anything spectacular because this is a fun project. This is not something to intimidate you or be scary. It is just to have fun. I'm putting purple right here because purple represents brats. It represents, if you mix all the different colors of the military branches together, you get purple. And so I'm putting purple down here. But purple, when we're looking at other philosophies, it represents interconnection. And you know, military families and military brats are so interconnected based on common experiences. Even if their experiences are totally different from each other, they have enough commonality that they feel comfortable when they run into each other somewhere. So I am showing confidence and interconnection right here in this shirt. So just in the few minutes we have left, I'm going to work on my hair. And it is somewhat brown. As I get older, it's getting less brown and more gray, but right today, and if you have seen me over the years, you know that it's short one year and long the next year, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just make it somewhat short, but maybe because it's in a growth period right now in the pandemic, I'll make a ponytail back here. So I'm just blocking my hair in right now. If you have favorite earrings that you wear, or a favorite jewelry piece, you can put that in. I generally wear hoop earrings, so I'm going to just go ahead and put my hoops here, even though you can't really see them. They're always white gold. And so just take another 15-20 minutes and just work on your picture. And we'll meet again tomorrow and add details.